Believe it or not, I'm walking on air. I never thought I could feel so free. Flying away on a wing and a prayer. Who could it be? Believe it or not, it's just me.
Given what I do for a living, watching porn, I get a lot of bootlegs in the mail from time to time. You know, stuff like the extended Citizen Kane, the copy of Casablanca that grants 3 wishes, and other fictitious DVDs that don't actually exist, because I don't get good stuff like that in the mail. I get garbage! Let's just have a look-see here. The Brazilian Wizard of Oz. The hell? The Turkish Wizard of Oz. Oh, yeah, classic. Strip to Kill and... what? The Charles Tex Watson 1990 parole hearing? Now what the hell am I gonna do with that? Hang on. What's this lone disc down here? Night Trap the movie? Night Trap? There's a Night Trap the movie? Not really. There are just many bootlegs that exist calling themselves Night Trap the movie. In reality, all it is just a collection of the full-motion video scenes from the Night Trap game edited together to form a somewhat coherent plot, and it's only 45 minutes long. Finally, a movie whose runtime can compete with The Geek. Why do I own Night Trap? For those of you who don't know, Night Trap is a game most famous for being ported onto the Sega CD in 1992, but the FMV footage itself was shot over a few weeks in 1987 and starred Dana Plato. It was originally designed for an unreleased game called Scene of the Crime, but when that game was never brought into fruition, the footage collected more dust than the original Caligula work print. When the footage was brought to Hasbro, it was used as part of the game Night Trap designed for a VHS game system called Nemo, again, never released, until finally being unleashed to the world as part of the Sega CD, the Sega 32X, and the 3DO. You know, 3 systems that had a huge shelf life. Why the f am I even talking about this? This is so not my field! But the Sega CD does have a special place in people's hearts. It is the perfect combination of retro games and really cheesy movies. But when you take the game portion of it out, you are left with a cheesy movie, yes, but more importantly, a really shitty movie. And that's why I'm talking about it. Holy shit, who knew the sky was only shielding a river of blood? Directed by James Riley. Oh, we're in safe hands. This is the same guy who wrote Double Switch, the Corey Haim game.
I'm Sims, Scat Team Commander. Scat Mission 230.
You really want to call yourselves the Scat Team? We're going to be thinking about shit a lot in this movie anyway. The Scat Team is informing us that they are leading a stakeout mission to protect a group of teenagers having a slumber party in a house where people keep disappearing.
Your mission, protect those 5 girls from whatever happened to another bunch of teenagers.
Could I protect them by watching something else? You know, under the theory that as long as I'm not watching it, nothing bad is happening?
Hidden cameras in almost every room and a series of traps. Our agent spliced an override into the security system, enabling you to control the cameras and the traps with this remote unit.
And somehow this is all easier than just telling the girls that there are killers in the house.
And that's Kelly, one of my best undercover agents. She'll be arriving with the rest of the girls.
If Dana Plato is your best agent, then the girls are already dead or they're super high. We finally move inside the house to meet the owners, the Martin family.
I know how it can be, Tony. I was young once too, you know.
Oh, I get it. It's community theater night in the Martin household. There is nothing more terrifying than a horror film shot like a sitcom. Any more sitcoms can't even make comedy funny. The guy who constantly wears the sunglasses is the Martin's son, who acts as casual as the Klopek's son.
What's the matter with you anyway?
He's just upset because the Bryan Adams look isn't working for him anymore.
Fine. You with me, Control? We're going in.
So there's a security camera set up on a tripod in the driveway? Subtle. Why doesn't the scat car just park in front of the house while they're at it? Oh, forgot to introduce Bruce Dern here. I don't think he's invited to the party.
That's Weird Eddie.
Weird Eddie? Guess there really is a strict copyright on the name Crazy Ralph.
This guy is really wigged out. Hey, Control, check out the house.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be doing that. I'm not playing the game. I'm just watching the movie. And somehow that's even more sad. These are all supposed to be people the Martin daughter met up with at a shopping mall. And good lord, they're all 40 years old. This slumber party is gonna get a little awkward.
Curious little bunch. What's wrong?
You know, just because you're using an accent doesn't automatically make your performance good. You still need to add emotions. Oh good, Eddie is still lurking around the house.
Hi, Eddie. Bye, Eddie. Nice of you to drop by, Eddie. Oh, and let us know when you want to die, Eddie. And like every great slumber party, the parents eventually leave. Now this party can really get started. They can have a strip tease, a pillow fight, bubble bath wrestle, or they could dance around horribly and use a tennis racket as a guitar. Well, so far, the theme song is giving the only performance in the movie. You know, for characters who exist only to get killed, they're sure doing a terrible job at it. Well, except for this guy, but I don't know who this is. Oh yeah, here's our killers, by the way, using blood to build up their wine stock? It'd be cheaper just to buy a fine clinker brick. I think that has blood in it. Oh, don't worry, kid. I think they just think you're a ghost. How else would you explain the cheap proton pack? Oftentimes, Dana Plato breaks the fourth wall to give clues to the viewer, which makes sense if you're playing the game, but if you're just watching the movie, it's like she's talking to the scat team who aren't doing anything.
Do you have a big family?
No, it's just my parents, my brother, and me. But you never know who might drop in. Oh, what?
Yeah, or lack thereof. I've already seen a dead body. Where the hell are the authorities? Oh wait, better not move in just yet. We need to see more slumber party banter.
Sarah, what is this?
I don't know, but I'm sure it works better than the Sega Menacer. To be fair, there is an undercover officer who arrives to the house to check things out. But again, he doesn't do anything. He only goes into the house to try out his fake accent.
Hello. So sorry to disturb you like this. So sorry to barge in. But I was wondering if maybe you had seen my boat.
Good work, officer. Your guest spot on a different world is safely secured. Finally, we get to see the killers do something else, and oh wow, who's so vain that they don't even see that right behind them?
Megan, this isn't gonna work. You're not scaring me.
Do your friends usually dress like suburban bandits and hide out in the shower? No? Then it's probably not them. It takes 3 of the killers to convince her that there's something wrong. I'm sure there's a blonde joke in there somewhere. It's okay, they're just taking her to be Bob Hoskins' pet dog to replace Jet Li. Unfortunately, they didn't count on the mad investigative skills of Dana Plato.
Hey, Control, check this out. They have pictures of all the girls. Their heights, weights, and blood types on the back.
I'm sure it's nothing. What? You can't give away just yet that the Martin family are the killers. Or maybe you can. God forbid this movie lead to any kind of climax. Turns out, though, they are something a little more than just killers.
Well, they're called augurs, or augs, and they're like a vampire.
You mean they suck blood?
Yeah. Well, it's nothing personal. It's the only way they can keep alive.
Thank you. Now I know what a vampire is. And that the derogatory term for them is augurs.
All right. Here, you take this one and go in the front, and I'll go around in the back.
Right on. Or you could just call the cops. And of course, back inside, everyone else is still clueless.
Hey, let's go swimming.
I'm gonna go upstairs and lie down. Yeah, I'm gonna go up too. I'll see you guys in a little bit.
Well, there's a sign that your slumber party is a success. People are wanting to nap.
Or they just start complaining about random shit.
Come on, Megan, it's not that bad.
Yes, it is. Do you realize it's the first time I've had the car the entire weekend and I wind up in the middle of nowhere?
Pretty juvenile problem for someone who is 29 years old. Summer of 69 here is also shown to be a vampire, and he tries warning a couple of the girls.
Tony, why are you warning us?
You remind me of a person I knew and loved long ago. But that could never be.
Where the hell did that come from? That isn't even referenced later in the movie as well. Well, at least this is a vampire movie that skimps out on the shitty love story.
Dana sends word out to Hasselhoff on the set of Baywatch Nights, but oh no, cancelled. Agent Bruno Mattei movie also tries to perform a rescue mission, and, well, if only he were the strike commando. Fortunately for Jimmy Sandlot here, he's given a ray gun that appears to work against the vampires, and it sets your house on fire. The vampires finally swarm through the house because you wouldn't want to make this 45-minute movie any slower. Oh shit, screams are being dubbed into the scene. Damn, you're in real trouble when even Dana Plato looks annoyed. Dana gets the rest of the girls together and attempts to let them know what's going on.
Now, I'm part of a special control attack team. SCAT.
Hey, whatever pays the bills. I'm not judging.
And surveillance cameras in the house. There's one right there.
Can they help us?
They can, but they won't.
Seriously, at this point, I'm under the impression that Control is just making a snuff film. Thank God Ted from Hey Dude returns to the scene.
Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you.
The hell? Is this turning into a porn?
Oh, he's just a vampire. I couldn't tell without the use of that blood-sucking cattle wrangler. Maybe now Control will finally step in.
Honestly, I think I'm going to give Control the benefit of the doubt. They are letting entertaining things happen in the movie.
And who doesn't want to be frozen next to Han Solo? Finally, though, Control steps in and sets off some traps. They had to settle for the stair slide since the paint cans on a string weren't set up yet. Once Scat finally swarms the house, we find out that the most powerful trap is always a gun. So yes, it was completely necessary that this kid has a ray gun, given that apparently any old gun will work. The Martins finally come home and sinisterly run out the clock before revealing that they're the villains.
A number of kids have been disappearing in this area, and most of them have been traced back to this house.
So we had to wait for several more people to get killed before we could infiltrate.
You see, Lieutenant, we were trying to help the unfortunate augurs.
Augurs?
Those are those things that were chasing us around the house trying to get our blood.
Oh, Kelly, I think you're overreacting.
That's the crack.
Vampires, you gotta be jabbing me. Let's cuff these freaks and drag them downtown.
You hear that? Not even Officer Blaxploitation is impressed. So the Martins reveal that they've been supporting the augurs, and they turn into vampires. Frequent traps are set up all throughout the house, such as the bed traps and the hallway traps. But still, you have to wonder what kind of ending we're gonna get. This is an FMV game. It has different endings.
It all really depends on whether or not the editor of Night Trap the movie likes the Dana Plato character.
We were so close! No!
Nope, he hates her, and he's sending her back through time? If you want to see the happy ending, though, there's always YouTube.
All right, you were perfect. Nobody's ever done that. I knew I could count on you. Thanks. You are wonderful. And next time I'm on special assignment, I'm going to insist that you back me up. I'd go anywhere with you and feel secure knowing that you were at the controls.
Haven't seen an ending that inappropriately cheerful since the ending of Heathers.
This is the worst thing Dana Plato has done next to Different Strokes.
Oh, I'm not talking about the classic TV series. I'm talking about the softcore lesbian porn that's also called Different Strokes.
Given how cheesy and overacted the movie is, the funniest part was the reaction to the game itself. The game was part of several infamous early 90s congressional hearings on violent video games such as Doom, Mortal Kombat, and Lethal Enforcers.
What? Lethal Enforcers? Oh, how offensive. You're stopping a robbery.
Many senators called the game disgusting, sick, and shameful.
You know, sort of like their fake outrage.
If you're gonna call it a terrible game, call it a terrible game, but don't make up some offense to a game where the point of it is to save the lead characters, not kill them. Not only that, but looking at it as a slasher film, it's relatively bloodless, there's no nudity, no vulgarity, and would make for a tame PG-13 horror film.
As a movie, it's boring. As a game, it's really not that violent. But who would expect politicians to be smart enough to figure out that sometimes characters in video games die?
I put the lives of those girls in your hands, and you screwed up. I'm pulling the plug on you before you do any more damage.